Hope you guys like the content because we're going to keep making it whether you do or not. All right, we're back. So, TV's different.
I love it. That was good.
Okay, so you said when we ended the last episode that this eclipse that's happening on April 8th, 2024, which by the time of this airing will be in 3 days, right?
Yeah.
3 days.
Yeah. Wild. Yeah, it's already the start of the festivities now.
Yeah. First day of Elfest is today.
Yeah.
You said that this eclipse, there's a theory out there that it's going to
awaken giants. It's not a huge theory. I haven't found a lot of like really good like research.
They waited a week. They waited a week.
I haven't found a lot of research on it, like just of anything fact, like other than what I'm about to tell you about.
Well, hence the internet theory, right?
100%.
Like there's not facts to any of this.
Yeah.
Sure. So just to go back to the annular eclipse that happened in 2017 and where the 2024 eclipse actually crosses in a city. So when you zoom into the map and where the paths cross, there's a few cities that are inside of there. It's a very big area right in the middle of the cross. It's a very big area. So it is also over a city in Maconda, Illinois. And Maconda is most known for Bigfoot sightings. There.
You're like, write that down. Let's go there.
Yeah. Continue.
So Maconda means it translates to little ones.
So little ones, but do you think giants are talking about Bigfoot people instead? I'm in.
Yeah. So I don't really know, but inside of Maconda is a state park named Giant City. And inside of this forestry, I guess, state park, there are giant, like, people-like statues inside of it. Like, huge.
Like naturally made?
Naturally made.
Okay.
Yeah, like, and they look like faces. Like, if you look at them, they look like faces. It's crazy.
Is it pareidolia where you can see faces in them?
Pareidolia means?
It's when you look at something, like clouds. When you look at clouds and you're like, oh, that looks like a
create
dragon.
shapes.
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah, so no, it's
your mind
not-
tries to humanoid things that it sees.
Sure.
It just naturally does
So
that.
it's not like it happens every day at the same time, but it's the way the sun lands on the rock to create the shadow of the. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
If it's
I get it. Right? We're awakening
No.
giants right now.
we
Like,
are.
I get it. I do. I get it. So that's inside of Maconda. And this place is only like a town of like 500 people, Maconda is. So they're talking about how the solar eclipse, it crosses over there and something about it will awaken giants. There's nothing saying exactly why it awakened giants, right?
Because it will.
because why else?
No, but what's weird is that
What?
they were already predicting cloud coverage back in February.
I mean, it's going to storm here. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 2 weeks away from the eclipse event happening at the time of this filming.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
I mean, it's April.
It's Indiana.
April showers bring May flowers.
Wow, good job. Hopefully the Giants come back and stop that from ever happening again.
Fuck. It is weird. They do have things inside of this park that have like the biggest bones ever found of like humans, like 8 foot, 9 foot people.
How old are
basically.
those, you know?
No. That's just based on TikToks that I've seen. That is not the awakening giants thing.
It just makes you think.
We are not experts on any of this shit. I like having interesting conversations with my friends.
Yeah.
Hence, that's what we're doing.
I would like to get more into the science behind the solar
Boo.
eclipse.
Bring back the... Wait, hold on. So real quick.
There's more.
Before you get into that, I'm going to ask one more question, then we can... I absolutely want to have some real substance to this. There's nothing to do with Bigfoots? It's just... That was just a fun fact you threw in there to like tease me? Also, just real quick, how many of you guys have noticed that little Bigfoot's been in that this whole time? All right, let's get into the science. I just wanted to clarify, there's nothing Bigfoot related about this eclipse?
Yeah, no, sorry. So, The Simpsons. So we all know The Simpsons and how they predict the future and all that. Well, there's an episode in season 24. It's episode 9. Homer's preparing a bunker, and we don't know why. And then we figure out that it's because of this big catastrophic event that he's been preparing for, basically, right?
It's a solar storm in that episode,
It is.
right?
It's a solar storm. So, well, that's the wrong page.
She has 4 pages of notes, by the way. It's pretty impressive.
I did a lot of research because I didn't want to look like big dum-dum.
I have no problem looking like that.
Well, anyway,
Me either.
this big, huge solar superstorm comes, whatever. Well, did you know that between March 24th and March 25th that we had a solar storm warning?
Yeah, you were talking about Simpsons, the bunker, and I was like, I've been seeing a lot of things about bunkers lately. A lot of things about this, like the geostorm that's coming.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh.
But real quick on that note, it's been predictive programming. There's a lot of predictive. I know I beat that drum a lot, but even like I talked about the World Left Behind movie or whatever, the entire movie was just selling bunkers. If the government's going to do something like drop an EMP or an HEMP or take our power grid down or anything like that, with all the people doing this is the time they're going to do it. Oh, it was a solar flare from the sun because there's a hole in the sun right now that we can see, and it's shooting fire at us. It's solar storms at us at 1 million miles per hour. Fear, fear, fear.
Yes.
Which this part could end up on the last one with religion.
Sure.
You know?
Or the government has nothing to do with it and they're just as scared as we are in a way. Just because that hole in the sun is huge. It's enough to engulf 60 Earths, this hole in the sun. It's
Yeah,
huge.
it's huge.
It's a huge hole in the sun. And it's like doing all this like crazy shit. Like that's why we've been having a lot more geostorms. But our ionosphere is what keeps, it's like our membrane. It's what keeps like all the geostorms out. It's like they're all bouncing off of this and they're like reflecting, right? It's like what keeps that shit from like hitting Earth. It's like our membrane. It's our protective layer from all that shit, just naturally. But depending on how strong these solar flares are, we don't know how strong our ionosphere is either in that way. So we've never seen a hole with that could swallow 60 Earths and what can come from that and interfere with satellites, communication, power grids, all of it. Because if any of that like gets in, I guess I'm again not a scientist. I don't know how that happens. It can take down several power grids like EMPs.
Well, and also too, you got to keep in mind, I don't know the actual year, so I'm not going to pretend like I do, but I believe it was like 1856. Sounds
you're
right
close.
to me. Am I?
Yeah, you're close.
What is it?
It is 1859.
1859. Sorry.
Damn.
Hey, if
this
I-
shit you retain.
It's the Currington event.
I don't know.
You're like always just off by a little
Which
tiny
means I'm
bit.
just never smart enough. Yeah. But the last time we had anything like that was in 1859, and it wasn't even near as big. But also, we didn't have anything we have now electronically.
No,
or
and that's
anything.
the thing. So the fact
That's scary. That's
that-
a scary thing.
Yeah, the actual fact is the 2024 storm is actually predicted to be 60 times more powerful than the Currington event that happened in 1859.
What is up with this year?
It's weird.
Like so the cicadas come out, right?
Yeah.
We have the 7
Both
year and the
breeds.
17.
Yeah.
And when's the last time we saw that?
200. No living person on Earth has ever seen it.
Right. So we have
See
a
what
200
exactly?
The cicadas are coming. Like a couple
Both
weeks after the
breeds.
eclipse.
So each breed is different.
Oh,
One
okay.
comes out 7 years, one comes out like 13 years. I don't know the numbers on that exactly.
Is it 13 years? I thought it was 17.
Something. It's
I'm
in
always
the
off a
teens.
couple years. You know what I mean?
But normally they're on cycles and they come out differently.
This year-
both breeds never come out at the same time.
Oh, so they're both.
Yeah, so we're gonna have
Okay.
swarms of cicadas, like
huge.
quite literally. The very biblical things are happening all year this year.
Yeah, and it's an election
The
year.
Chiefs and the 49ers played again. They're talking about Disease X taking us out in May for another.
Yeah.
We're not going to have an election, but we're supposed to have an election.
leap year.
It's a leap year, so we got to skip something.
Just too much things.
But it's also very fun. And
Because
it-
I've been
it is
reading
fun.
something about a comet too. I'm like, there's a comet, there's a solar flare, there's the eclipse.
So the solar flares do come back into the eclipse because of this huge hole that we're having. When the eclipse happens, because it's like shooting out all these coronal mass ejections, there'll be huge, tall pink towers.
this is a
like,
children's program. Can you keep that language down a little bit? Sorry, kids.
shooting out of the sun. So when the moon passes in front of it with the corona of the sun, you should be able to see all these solar flares around the sun
that's gonna
happening.
be so cool.
Yeah, so you have those on top of having all these different gamma rays and radio waves and stuff, which you don't see with your eyes. You know what I mean? But like you can see it move. You can't, whatever. So our government, our good old government.
So did I jump the gun on that?
They are actually shooting some sounding rockets up during the eclipse.
What do you mean?
They're sounding rockets, and we're launching them 45 minutes before the solar eclipse happens, one during and one after. We're supposed to be measuring any short-term changes in the ionosphere, just to go back to that. Any short-term changes in the ionosphere, because it's one of the only times we'll be able to, because the short-term disruption is the moon, right? And I feel like they're doing that because we need to know how to keep our technology and our power grids and all of that in case there is a solar storm strong enough to take it down, because EMPs do happen naturally. And that's what we're bouncing off of our ionosphere every day right now while we speak. That's happening. But if one is so big, how can we protect the technology that's here, because we rely on it so much? So I think that's what they're doing. I think they're doing that with the moon to like get an ultrasound.
To talk to the aliens?
An ultrasound of the moon.
Yeah, to talk to the aliens?
No, just to see
He
what is
thinks there's
inside of
aliens
it.
inside of it.
Yeah,
Do
that's
you
great.
Do you not think that?
I don't know.
Okay, can we at least settle on the fact?
100%
Can we at least settle
about
on the
that.
fact that the moon is hollow and full of caverns at minimum?
It's definitely that. There is
it,
water
like-
on the moon.
Yes.
Yeah. And if it's not like aliens, like humanoid walking around,
No, it's
it can be
still
water
some-
bears.
yeah.
It can be
Dude,
like
I
something
don't
to a
think-
microscopic level.
Aliens are anything like what we think they are. Just to clarify
Yeah.
that. Aliens could be a bug, like a little tiny little.
Yeah.
There's life.
Yeah,
Go ahead, I'm
no,
sorry.
It's crazy. No, but that's it. I mean, that's what I got. Those are the things that I have. And I don't think that it's necessarily to measure the ionosphere. I don't think they want to protect anything that much. I think they want to know what's inside the moon.
Do you
I
not
think
think
this
that
is
they
a really
know
good
what's
time-
inside the moon?
I think they probably have a good idea, but factually.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
Buzz
really
Aldrin
know.
being the second person to ever walk on the moon, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, everyone he's ruined his credibility for a lot of people just because of outlandish things he said. And plus, we do that to people who have information on things that we're not supposed to know about. Mm-hmm. But they talked about how there were beings on the ridge watching them as they were up there. And these theories are coming out, and then we're doing certain things. It's like, well, yeah, look at this while we do this. You know what I mean?
100%.
So what are they going to try to do during the eclipse? Like, quite literally, what are they going to hide by the moon, hiding the sun?
Yeah.
Like, what's going to be going on? You know what I
Right.
mean?
I was up late last night, like, because when I dive into stuff like this, like, I just find, like, I mean, there's just rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole, and you want more.
It's fun.
You know, it
yeah,
is.
because it's fun.
Yeah, but like I was like asking Google, like, what is set to happen on April 8th? Like, what is the news? Like, like
That's
what is
dangerous. You're
leading
going to end
up?
up on a list.
No, I'm probably already on a list.
Well, now, because this show's going to be on a list. We're already blacklisted online. I definitely feel like we need to enjoy the moment, though.
yeah.
Try not to let fear kind of take over you
yeah,
guys, you know?
no.
Oh, it's kind of grabbed me by the balls.
This is just everybody talking. Everybody wants to be seen anymore, like,
Yeah.
and what better than to just play on the hype of everything and find all these, like you've said before, like the movie Numbers with Jim Carrey. Like,
Yeah,
you can
23.
find anything in anything. Like,
You said something so perfect earlier that I want to touch on just that. The path of 7 years ago Eclipse is like this, if you're watching. And then the crossover path crosses over the town rapture, right? Mm-hmm. But you said it's huge.
it's huge.
So how many towns? So like you're picking
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
You know, I can make things of things if I see things.
Yeah.
Like you give me enough time. Like one of my favorite games to doing art when I was an apprentice, especially, is I would get on a piece of paper and I just would scribble. Like just randomly look away and scribble. And then I'd stop and look at it and be like, oh, well, that looks like a dragon.
I do that
And
with
that looks like-
Magnolia.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
But I do it every day when I tattoo, like cover up. So like, can you cover that up? And I'm like, huh. And in my brain, I kind of just look at their previous tattoo as a scribble. And I go, what can I make of that scribble? That's what we do. My brain is trained to do that. And
Right.
naturally, we're not special. Everybody is trained
Yeah,
to
no, for
do
sure.
that. And
Yeah.
I think that's what we do.
No, you
so.
guys are special. So very special.
Yeah, so it's very fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. I love space and I love like just like celestial events and everything like that. But I'm also a very anxiety ridden person. So like if you are also like maybe just stay home that Monday. Like maybe don't go out because once you go out and you're out of your normal thing, that's when shit is going to happen. You know, like if you just want to stay home, stay home. You're going to be able to see it. If you live in Indiana, you're going to be able to see it. No matter where you are, no matter how long totality is, you're going to see it. Like it's crazy. It's crazy how it goes through most of our state.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Well, and just as always, be prepared and be aware. Have enough food in case there is a shortage around here.
Yeah.
Fill your tank up. It's not that deep. Read up on the moon.
Yeah.
Let's do a moon episode.
Yeah. Would love
Because
to.
the moon is awesome. And I think that would be a lot of fun.
We can talk about all the moons.
Let's stick to ours.
He's like, there's a lot to unpack in that.
Yeah. Well, hey, we appreciate you guys. If you don't like the content, I'm going to make it anyway. And we're done.
Great.
Get out.
Love that.
Good night, guys.